identifying and simplifying algebraic expressions. We've already taken notes on the first part of identifying expressions, like terms, constants, coefficients. Now we are going to go to the second part of the notes. This will be example 4 and 5, which will include decimals and fractions. We've already done examples 1 through 3, and now we're moving on to example 4, which would be simplifying using decimals. I'm looking at my expression. I see a G term, keeping the sign with the G term, negative 3/10 G, and then I have a positive 6 1/10 G. I know that I can combine those two together. And then I'm going to put my numbers next to each other as well. I have negative 4.2 and negative 0.9. I'm going to put those next to each other. So negative 4 2/10, and then a negative 9/10. I would like to combine by like terms. I can add G's with G's. All right, I'm looking at a negative 0.3 and a positive 6.1. These are different signs, so I need to subtract them. I'm going to go off to the side and I'm going to subtract these two decimal numbers. The larger number has to go on top. 6.1 is larger than 0.3. I need to put this one on top. So I have a positive 6.1 G and a negative 0.3 G. I'm going to bring my G down in my answer. And then I have 6.1 subtracting 0.3. These are unlike signs. They're different signs. We know that we subtract when there's different signs. This was a positive 6.1 G, and this is a negative 0.3 G. So when there are different signs, we're going to subtract. I cannot do 1 subtracting 3, so I borrow. And I add 10 to my 1, which makes that 11. Now I have 11 subtracting 3, which would be 8. When we're adding and subtracting decimals, we make sure that we line them up. And then I bring it down to my answer. And then 5 subtracting 0 is 5. When it's different signs, I subtract, and then I take the sign from the larger number. So it's going to be a positive 5.8 G. Now I have negative 4.2 and negative 0.9. These are like signs. When I have like signs, I add them up and keep the same sign. So when it has the same sign, we're going to add it up. I lined up my decimals. 2 plus 9 is 11. Carry the 1. 4 plus 1 is 5. Plus 0 is 5. And then I bring down my decimal. When it's the same sign, we add them up and keep the same sign. Example 5. We have fractions. I see that I have parentheses. So to simplify, the definition was that there would be no parentheses and no like terms. Let's start with getting rid of the parentheses. I need to use the distributive property. 5, 6 times A is 5, 6, A. I'm going to put it right next to it. 5, 6A. 5, 6 times positive 12. If I make 12 a fraction, I'm multiplying fractions. I know that I can look for that cross canceling. I'm doing 5, 6 times 12. I'm just going to go off to the side and do 5, 6 times 12. Make 12 a fraction. and I see I have some cross canceling. 6 and 12 have a common factor of 6. 6 divided by 6 is 1. 12 divided by 6 is 2. And now I'm going to multiply straight across. 5 and 1, nothing can be canceled there. 5 times 2 is 10. 1 times 1 is 1. And 10 divided by 1 is 10. So I have a plus 10. And then I'm going to bring down the rest of my expression. I have a negative 5a, positive 11. What do I have for like terms? I have an a, 5, 6a, and a negative 5a. I'm going to put them next to each other. 5, 6a, and negative 5a. Keeping my signs with my terms. And then I have a positive 10 and a positive 11. I would like to combine 5, 6a, and a negative 5a. Are these the same signs or different signs? They are different signs. That means that we need to subtract them. Which one needs to go on top? The larger one needs to go on top. 5 is larger than 5, 6. So I have negative 5a and a positive 5, 6a. I would like to keep my a's in the same column, my fractions in their column, and my whole numbers in their column. So I'm going to rewrite this. All right. I have my a's in the same column together. I have fractions in a column, and then my whole numbers in another column. I have different signs. That means I need to subtract. 5 subtracting 5, 6. I need to borrow from the 5 so that I have a fraction here. I'm borrowing 1. And that 1 that I borrow, I want it to have a common denominator with 6, but I still want it to equal 1 whole 1. I'm going to do 6, 6. 6, 6 is 1. 4. 4 plus 1 is still 5. Now I can do my subtracting. I have 6, 6 subtracting 5, 6. I'm going to bring down my a. These are different signs. When we have different signs, we subtract. 6, 6 subtracting 5, 6 is 1, 6. And then 4 subtracting nothing is still 4. When we have different signs, we subtract and then take the sign from the larger number. 5 was larger. That'll be negative 4 and 1/6 a. Negative 4 and 1/6 a. I have a 10 plus 11. They're the same sign. I add them up and keep the same sign. That is it for your notes today. Example 4 and example 5, using the distributive property and simplifying with decimals and fractions.